May I help you?
Is there something I can do for you?
I see you. Hello.
I'm listening. Please. Go ahead.
Right now. Doesn't even
Must you make a pest of yourself?
Did it work? Yes, it worked.
Annoying creature. What are you doing?
Even sell potions to Creeper. No. Shit. Oh wait, maybe I can. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the levitate potions because those are awesome. Yes. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Alright, so I'll keep 6 of these restore health potions in the event that I might need them. Oh wait, I guess I'll keep more than that.
I've killed far worse than you.
I'll level up again and then we can do some
Annoying.
Yes, Outlander, what do you want?
Is there something you need?
Ah, a visitor. What? Warm day to you.
Ugh, this quest sucks. I just realized
Greetings.
This quest sucks. The mushroom
What
one
exactly
is
do you
so
require
worth
of me?
but that one is complete ass. Alright, I think we are ready for the first first fight against one of these fuckboys. Is he coming? No? Alright, we avoided it. It was close though. My intelligence is no longer insanely fortified, which I think is good. I really want to be that big brained right now. Do main quest. Do main quest. Let's go talk to Caius Cosades again. Go talk to Hasfat Antabolus. Ask him what he knows about the Nereverend secret cult and the Sixth House secret cult. You'll have to do him a favor first. Probably an ugly favor, but do it. Then get the information from Antabolus and report back to me. By the way, Hasfat is a student of Morrowind history. Take the chance to get a little education. And I have a few history books in here. Help yourself, you're welcome to them. No part in being part of history if you're too ignorant to understand it. What's the deal with Morrowind history? Jeanette Seat's little book is a good place to start. I have a copy here. Take it. You might also look for On Morrowind, the Imperial Province by Aramanwe of Sunhold. Any gave me a copy of A Short History of Morrowind, which I will admit, having played this game several times, I have never read. So we're going to read that right now. Hasfat Antabolus is the drill master of the Balmora Fighters Guild. He's lived in Morrowind all his life, knows the natives, and talks a lot with backcountry mercenaries. He thinks of himself as a scholar, and he's particularly interested in Dwemer ruins and artifacts. Let's talk about the Nerevarine. Some Dunmer believe that an orphan and outcast, a youth born on a certain day to uncertain parents, will one day unite all the tribes of the Dunmer, drive out the invaders of Morrowind, and re-establish the ancient laws and customs of the Dark Elven nations. They call this orphan and outcast the Nerevarine, and say that the Nerevarine will be a reincarnation of the long-dead Dunmer general and first counselor Lord Indoril Nerevar. A trusted informant says they're a secret cult, the Sixth House, associated with some strange events recently, and more importantly, my informant thinks that these recent disturbances are related in some way to the Nerevarine prophecies. So those. The illiterate Ashlanders pass down their customs and history in the form of poetic verses. Among the things they preserve in verse are the dreams and prophetic visions of their wise women, in particular the verses that foretell the coming of the Nerevarine. But I don't know much about it. That's why I'm sending you to find out.
Greetings.
Led by the legendary prophet Veloth, the ancestors of the Dunmer, exiles from Altmer cultures in present-day Somerset Isle, came to the region of Morrowind. In earliest times, the Dunmer were harassed or dominated by Nord Sea Raiders, when the scattered Dunmer tribes consolidated into the predecessors of the modern Great House clans. They threw out the Nord oppressors and successfully resisted further incursions. The ancient ancestor worship of the tribes was in time superseded by the monolithic tribunal temple theocracy, and the Dunmer grew into a great nation called Resdayn. Resdayn was the last of the provinces to submit to Tiber Septim. Like Black Marsh, it was never successfully invaded, and was peacefully incorporated by treaty into the Empire as the province of Morrowind. Almost 4 centuries after the coming of the Imperial Legions, Morrowind remains occupied by them, with a figurehead Imperial King, though the Empire has reserved most functions of the traditional local government to the ruling councils of the 5 Great Houses. On Vardenfell District, in the Third Era, 414, Vardenfell territory, previously a temple preserve under Imperial protection, was reorganized as an Imperial Provincial District. Vardenfell had been maintained as a preserve administrated by the temple since the Treaty of the Armistice, and except for a few Great House settlements sanctioned by the temple, Vardenfell was previously uninhabited and undeveloped. But when the centuries-old temple ban on trade and settlement of Vardenfell was revoked by King of Morrowind, a flood of Imperial colonists and Great House Dunmer came to Vardenfell, expanding old settlements and building new ones. The new district was divided into Redoran, Hlaalu, Telvanni, and Temple districts, each separately administered by local house councils or temple priesthoods, and all under the advice and consent of Duke Dren and the district council in Ebernhart. Local law became a mixture of house law and imperial law in house districts, jointly enforced by house guards and legion guards, with temple law and imperial law enforced in the temple district by ordinators. The temple was still recognized as a majority religion, but worship of the 9 divines was protected by the legions and encouraged by imperial cult missions. The temple district included the city of Vivek, the fortress of Ghostgate, and all sacred and profane sites, including those blighted areas inside the Ghost Fence, and all unsettled and wilderness areas on Vardenfell. In practice, this district included all parts of Vardenfell not claimed for Redoran, Hlaalu, or Telvanni districts. The temple stubbornly fought all development in their district and were largely successful. House Hlaalu, in combination with imperial colonists, embarked on a vigorous campaign of settlement and development. In the decades after reorganization, Balmora and the Ascadian Isles regions have grown steadily. Caldera and Pelagiad are completely new settlements, and all Legion forts were expanded to accommodate larger garrisons. House Telvanni, normally conservative and isolationist, has been surprisingly aggressive in expanding beyond their traditional tower villages. Disregarding the protests of the other houses, the Temple, the Duke, and the District Council, Telvanni pioneers have been encroaching on the wildlands reserved to the Temple. The Telvanni Council officially disavows responsibility for these rogue Telvanni settlements, but it is an open secret that they are encouraged and supported by ambitious Telvanni mage lords. Under pressure from the temple, conservative House Redoran has steadfastly resisted expansion in their district. As a result, House Redoran and the temple are in danger of being politically and economically marginalized by the more aggressive and expansionist Hlalu and Telvanni interests. The Imperial administration faces many challenges in the Vardenfell district, but the most serious are the Great House rivalries, animosity from the Ashlander nomads, and internal conflicts within the temple itself, as well as the Red Mountain Blight. Struggles between Great House, Temple, and Imperial interests to control Vardenfell's resources could at any time erupt into full-scale war. Ashlanders raid settlements, plunder caravans, and kill foreigners on their wild lands. The Temple has unsuccessfully attempted to silence criticism and calls for reform within its ranks. But most serious are the plagues and disease hosts produced by the blight storms sweeping out from Red Mountain. Vardenfell and all Morrowind have long been menaced by the legendary evils of Dagoth-Ur and his ash vampire kin dwelling beneath the Red Mountain. For centuries, the Temple has contained this threat within the Ghost Fence, but recently Temple's resources have faltered, and the threat from Red Mountain has grown in scale and intensity. If the Ghost Fence should fail, and hosts of blighted monsters were to spill out across Vardenfell's towns and villages, the Empire might have no choice but to evacuate Vardenfell District and abandon it to the disease and corruption. So the stakes are somewhat high. Thanks for the book, Jack. The War of the First Council. I believe the War of the First Council is relevant to Indoril Terrapar, actually. It is really difficult. What the hell is that jump spell actually? It is like next to it.
May
What
I
can
help
do
you?
to deserve this honor?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You want something, friend?
Ah, a visitor. What may I do for you?